Oh, is it actually... I can't interact with the tape machine. Huh. Alright, I guess it has to be the boombox then. So... Doorgunner Megamix, a magnetic tape acquired from Titus Hardy. It supposedly holds a recording of the Mercenary Task Force radio communications recorded via decryption in station. Not a good omen, requires a boombox to play.
The portal reel is just what you needed. The reels attach to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader.
Play the tape.
You push command set, and the tape starts spinning. Violent static and machine sounds fill the air.
This isn't Revachol. This is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants.
Another loud screech, some kind of machinery.
The harbor. That's the son of a Kvalson crane.
Ah, maybe that's the container we can open with rhetoric.
He's right.
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too. Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice one. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally.
So we have a name, Corty.
I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style.
Okay, so this is not a confession, this is an announcement of his intention.
Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
A click, then silence, the rest of the tape is empty.
The lieutenant presses the button marked Arete on your portal reel. The tape stops spinning.
What was that at the very end? Silence?
End of recording.
What do you think, Kim?
It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls.
I agree, he also sounded inebriated. But he did say he's going to do it. You can't edit words into someone's mouth. I think he sounded alright just letting off some steam. He did say the words.
Indeed, but
You're familiar with this look now, it's his look of suspicion.
it seemed authentic enough.
He sounded inebriated.
Still,
Okay. Who's this Corty?
Corty could be short for Cortenar, one of the other mercenaries, the one he was talking to. Probably the mountain at the harbor gates. Mr. Right to Work,
Okay. And what's Kohoi?
a village on the Samaran Isola in South Safre. Grad committed war crimes there, the kind of thing he talks about.
The South Safre conflict is an ongoing proxy war between Grad and Safre. It has been hot for 12 years, with the atrocities piling on, mostly committed by the Grad.
You think he was there?
Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. We would need to know the story of this man's service.
A symbol of soldier of the apocalypse style conduct in a civil environment.
Okay then, what now?
I think we've got a few more questions for Clasia, don't you? This seems to contradict her testimony, at least to some degree.
So yeah, we can go back to Classy now. Okay. Sure, seeing as we are upstairs, we might as well go and see if we can talk to Classier now. But the next thing to do would be to go and talk to Corty, or the scab leader. Mr. Right to Work. Sure? Classier.
Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
Titus Hardy gave us a recording where the deceased states his intention to commit rape.
She puts her coffee cup down with a soft ring as the porcelain meets the metal table.
Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me.
She doesn't care. If anything, she sounds amused.
On this tape, he specifically identifies you as the target.
Where did they get this recording exactly?
They didn't actually tell me, did they?
It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via a de-encryption station. It's authentic enough.
Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style?
Ooh. How would she know the exact words that were used? Those are the exact words he used Something to that effect. No. Interesting. So, I'm actually going to confirm what she says, even though that there's two different strategies. You can confirm that what she thought is correct, or you can sort of deny it and see what their reaction is afterwards. But I'm gonna confirm it.
Yeah. That was practically his pickup line.
She picks the cup back up.
A memory surfaces in her tired neocortex. It's not entirely unpleasant.
Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Kohoi style?
Yes, the word whore was used. Kohoi was mentioned. He did refer to the atrocities in South Africa. Kohoi was mentioned, yes.
He wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little Kohoi. It wasn't his everything.
Why say things like that, Machismo? Do you think he was trying to scare people? Why say things like that?
Yes, was he bragging?
Oh no, I'm pretty sure he did all those things. Then integrated them into his idea of normalcy. To keep on living. Until they just sort of turn into his, what's the word I'm looking for?
Coping mechanism, catchphrase, persona. So it's either coping mechanism or persona. Yeah, if you sort of portray yourself as a tough mercenary saying all these things, that kind of does become your persona, but if it's the idea of to keep on living, then it is a coping mechanism. So let's go with coping mechanism.
Running joke. I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funkier than that.
Who's Lely?
He was like the Seminese conflict, the Kohoi massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezut all rolled into one person, then cast in Orani's ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower.
That is a sign of paranoia, yeah. Weren't you afraid you like this kind of stuff and you spent time with this person romantically? Weren't you afraid?
Afraid of what? That tape the Hardy Boys recorded? Your mother probably never told you this, but girls are evil. Had I the physical robustness and social support, I'd be in Kohoi. I would be tearing it up Soldier of the Apocalypse style.
Why social support?
She wouldn't. She doesn't have the full Hoi in her.
Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things? He in Martinez, I mean?
No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be.
There is a small measure of pride in her that she could quell the rage in such a being. What kind of man was he? Before you go, ask for details. She seems okay to talk about it.
Sure.
Thank you for clearing that up, miss. Whenever you're ready. I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now.
So back and forth, back and forth?
She takes a very small sip of her coffee and smiles.
Now that you've had some time, can you tell us more about the victim?
Like, for example, his name?
Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely.
So Lely is the mercenary that's dead. Corty is the mercenary that's the scab leader. There is one more that we don't know about.
A nickname?
I guess. He came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use.
Lelystad. That's a good start.
The lieutenant writes it down in his notebook.
We have a few questions you can help us with. A few things a field autopsy alone can't answer.
So Kim's torn out a page and handed it to me.
The young woman cranes her neck, trying to catch a glimpse of the page the lieutenant passed to you. On it is a list of autopsy observations, recorded neatly in blue ink.
Oh, we piqued your interest, Classier.
Everything left to be clarified is in the column on the left.
Okay. Where is Lelystad? The place, I mean.
In Oranje, officer. It's, I think municipality is the term. A nowhere town there.
The Lelystad municipality has few boroughs and even fewer cities. It's made of agricultural plots near the border of Gottwald. Executive summary. Cows silos, and wheat.
Okay.
Aranye? Aranye's map of waterways? This fits with his tattoo.
You were almost right, officer. That means his race was occidental, not mondial. I'll update the form.
The lieutenant shakes his head like you just missed a shot in darts. Look at Classier, you were both from Aranye. I'll look at the autopsy paper, moving on. You were both from Aranye.
Yes. We were compatriots.
Did that bring you together?
No. He was too old for that. And from another part of Oranyenrek. I didn't even understand his accent. What brought us together wasn't Oranje. It was bad habits.
Sex. Alcohol.
The usual.
No love for Mother Aranye. But wasn't he a soldier? This could be worth pursuing.
A military man, but not a patriot. Or no need to get political. Not a patriot.
No. He left the National Service after they taught him to do what he did on Seminine. He wasn't the flag-waving kind. He was the making money, killing people kind.
Well, yeah, a mercenary.
He was by no means a stupid man. A people person. A small platoon leader. Certainly not a patriot.
You don't seem like much of a patriot yourself. As an Oranese yourself, didn't his lack of patriotism annoy you? No, you're not a patriot.
Mm-hmm. There is nothing on Moindi. The old world is dead, and we both knew it. Maybe Oranje did bring us together. In loathing. I love Revachol, though. I hope she loves me, too.
Okay, how old was he, miss?
He was 42.
42? Are you sure? I would have had him above 50.
Yeah, because I was going to say, around 50, why not just say 42 if you're going to be specific?
He had many scars that made him appear older. But no.
The memory makes her smile.
We even celebrated his birthday, like, some weeks ago. It was a funny 2 days. He had little reason to lie to me.
Looks like you were right, officer.
The lieutenant taps on his notebook once as though assigning some kind of point.
Points aren't good. Have one, you old dog, before we all die.
We healed some health back. Not morale. Health. I didn't know this was a competition, Kim. Better not to mention it. I didn't know we were competing, Kim.
It isn't. Police work is a cooperative sport.
Sure.
There is no challenge without competition. There must be an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
This is clearly sports for him. Something like archery or darts.
It's still about getting hits right and not missing. Then the competition's against the world, or let it be. Ooh. Yeah, he said it's a cooperative sport, so let's say, is it against the world?
That's too conceptual for me. I just like to get autopsies correct on the first try if possible. Where were we?
He makes another note.
He's lying.
Alright,
He
let's
was
go
42.
through
He had
this
met-
again. Just want to
Looks
see
like
what he
Points
says.
aren't good.
It isn't.
There isn't. This is clearly sports.
About getting hits.
That's too pinball for me. I just like to get autopsies right on the first try. Where
Mhm.
were we?
Yeah, 2 pinball.
He's lying.
Of course he is. His eye color.
Blue. Light blue. They were like little blue galaxies, you know? It was strange, seeing those eyes in his fucked up face. Pardon the swearing. I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly. And he had a beautiful, soft voice. Very surprising, what with all the scarring. It was quite something, watching him speak.
So if he has a beautiful, soft voice, then maybe the voice on the recording isn't him.
He had a combat wound on his chin and mouth.
Yes. Severe. It made him look like half his face was cracking away in some strange smile. That and those eyes.
Ah, yes. His hair, if you can remember.
It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made it oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone.
He had a tattoo. What did it mean?
Oh, that.
It's clear she liked it.
You liked it? It was an Oranese map of the waterways. It was a map of his service history. What did it represent? Do you know? Liked it?
Quite a lot, yes.
So, we can try and say this to say this is our best guess and she'll correct us. or we can just ask the question outright. Let's go with the first one. Say, this is our guess. Is it right?
Sure. Waterways. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though.
For showing off to chicks? How so?
How? Imagine him lying in bed. Freakish musculature laid out on the sheets. Scarred, of course. Tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason.
For some reason.
Is this Oranese lit?
Is this Oranese lit?
Yes. This is the very essence of Oranese lit. A moment's respite. Dark and hopeless as the struggle itself.
He leans even further back to demonstrate.
He's smoking and drinking, of course. And his chest and shoulders and arms are studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them. Maybe even thousands. And the woman goes like, "What was this, baby?"
He points at the air with a sharp-nailed finger, picking out an imaginary tattoo star.
And he says, "That was too hardcore. Don't ask me about that." So she goes, "Okay, but what's this, baby?" And he's like, "Saw some bat shit there. Killed some loincloths."
So he was trying to make it a front to say, yes, this is everything I've done in my military history.
And so it goes. Star after star, port after port, third world country after third world country. And he's done horrible things in every single one of them.
You were the woman in this?
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us precisely what these mean? Hand her the photo.
No thank you. I've seen enough of him dead. I can tell you what they meant without looking at them.
She pours herself some more coffee.
Go on.
He was a blue-eyed boy with thick arms, from a small town. He was also poor, and the government of Orania needed some people killed, so they turned him into a grotesque killer. For money. He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people in the Semenine Islands. And on other islands, too. All of the islands. After this, he came to Revachol and got killed himself.
So we completed the task, the victim's tattoos. Not a very fun story. Good story, thanks. Thank you for clearing that up. Not a very fun story.
It is when you're high. It can be very exciting then. You have the tools to deal with it. It's not a very nice story to remember when you're sober. A change of topic?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to spend most of your time sober, so yeah, it's just not a very nice story. Okay, so, could it be love that did him in? Perhaps, miss, it was communism that killed him. We ordered a toxicology report. Any idea what that will show us? Could it be love?
It very well could be, yes.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? I have no idea. I don't even know what you mean. Love did him in? What does that mean?
He told me love did him in. Yeah, in the nightmare, he told me.
That's not funny, officer.
Oh, that's a severe change in tone. And hello, Dragon Garland. I'm not sure you'd be correct if you said she spends most of her time sober. Well, there's always going to be a moment where you wake up from your stupor to say, oh, I am sober. So naturally, you will remember the story at that point. And then obviously you go ahead and have drugs and alcohol and then you go high again. But, you know, there is no way to remain high all the time, but you can remain sober all the time, just by default. So. And hello, thanks for joining the stream. How are you doing today?
Her voice is like a slash through the air. Her shoulders tense up. There, she momentarily lost control over straight back guy. It appears that she feels guilty.
You feel guilty?
Of course I do. I'm hungover. I feel guilty about everything.
Do you feel guilty about what happened to him?
Among many other things, yes. I could have done something. There's always something he can do, right? Ask me something else.
Not necessarily. There's not always a situation where you can prevent an outcome.
What is this? An interrogation? You didn't tell her this was going to be an interrogation.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Rhetoric, I know, because Volition told me, that my thoughts relating to Class A are compromised, so I don't need to listen to you. Perhaps it was communism that killed him.
A moment ago it was love. And no, I don't think the Union is communist. They're a couple of shades pinker than that.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're not hardcore in that way, is what I'm trying to say. What are we talking about anyway? This politics shit is a lot in the morning. Is it even morning?
Nope, it's the afternoon.
I think she's just tired. She doesn't know what you meant by that. And can you blame her?
No.
You could blame her, a little. It was a pretty straightforward question that she refused to answer.
Alright, we ordered a toxicology report. What will it show us?
A real rainbow splattering of pharmaceuticals, I bet. Barbiturates, amphetamine, sildenafil. How much does the toxicology report cost the police of Revachol? I can do it for half of that. Save you some money, make some myself.
Well, I mean, we've already asked for it, so no thanks.
It's quite expensive, miss. But we'll manage without your help for now.
I think we're finished with this line of questioning. Hand the lieutenant back his note.
All right.
So, task complete. Question classy about the dead man. The lieutenant puts a slip back in his notes and observes the young woman for a moment.
Coolly, gracefully, she pours herself more coffee.
I think that's it. So let's return to this later.
Wait, stop. That man, bloated beyond all recognition, was 42?
But she said yes.
Below the damage, the weeks of decomposition, all the swollen indignity of mortality. He was 42 years old?
Where is this going?
How old are you? That's where this is going. 45,000 liters of raw alcohol has left its disfigurements. What lies beneath, you wonder?
Well, I've always kind of assumed that Harry is in his late 40s to early 50s. Because I can't imagine anyone having mutton chops is much younger than that. And also, we've been in the service for 18 years. So, yeah. You would expect this to be at least in the 40s.
You could ask either one of them.
Kim, how old do you think I am? Miss, how old do you think I am? I got this, my age, I think I'm... Oh, let's ask her. I can ask him later. Miss, how old do you think I am?
Huh. How old do I think you are?
Yeah, because you won't know.
She's buying time to formulate the best answer. Look who's finally awake.
Ah.
I don't know. As old as time itself? Ageless? 50,000 years old? I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How old is an apocalypse cop?
I think I'm circa 55, 45, 35. I feel like I'd be closer to 55. Because, what, 20 years of service? That's assuming that... Maybe I'm 45, actually. I'm trying to think of when someone would enter the police force. But then also, there's Kim was a juvenile cop for 15 years himself. So... I did say late 40s, as well as early 50s. I'm going to go with 45, because then that makes the 20 years of service more impressive.
You're not.
He's squinting at you.
Sure he is. You know, age is just a number.
And remember, Kim's not good at judging age because he thought the victim was 50 and he's actually 42.
Yes, but for him that number is higher than 45.
You don't know, Kim.
Wait. This requires scientific measurements.
Bring it on, I am not afraid of the truth.
To the laboratorium.
Ah, date of birth generator. Sweet. Alright, so let's have a look at that thought. Date of birth generator. Temporary research bonus none. Takes 7 hours to complete. Your face looks like it's 58 and your body feels like it's 60. Your mind feels like it's lived for 1 day or 100. Both longer than they ought to be. The day and the century. But for how long then has this thing attached to your sentience walked the planet's crust? Time to start racking those brains of yours, Elder One. When and where were you born? Interesting. Okay. Alright, I said last time cleaning out the rooms was going to be one that I could potentially get rid of, but the thing is that I want to keep suggestion high to talk to Lillian. What else? So, Regular lore official could be one. All learning caps raised to 3 because of my learning caps. Well, no, I suppose having 3 as a minimum for things is handy. What else? Advanced race theory, right. So rhetoric raised to 5 and +1 conceptualization. That's fairly minor, right? Because rhetoric is got a massive gap, so I don't need that. And conceptualization, like I can put a point into that, fine. So yeah, let's get rid of advanced race theory, and we'll start internalizing the birth generator. So, forget. Thought will be lost forever. There we go. To be fair, I didn't really want to have advanced theory internalized, but it just gave me a boost in general. So, date of birth generator. And then, yeah, like the cap for rhetoric's gone down a little bit, and conceptualization's gone down to 5 rather than 6, but I can make that better. Yeah, brain chock full of thoughts. Well, I figured out fairly early on that having more thoughts meant that I could just get more bonuses in general. And now I am running out of space of like, well, which thoughts do I get rid of? The only one that I am absolutely not getting rid of is advanced art degree. Actual art degree. Because that has been so beneficial. It's given me tons and tons of experience as I've been playing. The indirect modes of taxation stuff, or the moralist dialogue stuff, the left-wing dialogue options as well, those haven't been as useful, but, you know, you never know when the dialogue options might come up. So,